I'm Derek Blomfield.
And I'm Kirrily Blomfield.
My grandparents bought this farm, Colorado, here at Corona on the Liverpool Plains in 1946. It's always had a history of being a mixed farm, producing grain, wool and producing beef.
Our business has progressed and we now produce grass-fed beef that we market direct to consumers, and we've named that business The Conscious Farmer because we're conscious about land management. Our customers are conscious about their own health in choosing grass-fed beef, and they're conscious about how the cattle are treated in the process.
We've made heaps of changes on the farm over the years. We were implementing full tillage systems, we were ploughing paddocks up every year, burning stubble. Everything was farmed up, offset discs, sometimes deep ripped. We progressed from a full tillage system into a zero tillage system, which was marvellous for retaining moisture in the soil profile. It's in the last 13 years that our whole family has undergone holistic management training, and we've really realised the importance of trying to move back towards a perennial farming system rather than annual crops and having uncovered soils all over the farm. We just felt that we had annual weeds to deal with, not only in the farming paddocks where we were growing crops, but also in our pasture paddocks. We were spending a lot of money and a lot of time spraying chemicals across the farm, trying to control those weeds. Of course, the next year the same weeds are there because nothing had changed in the system. It wasn't until we became aware that we need to try and improve our ground cover and try and get more perennial plant species growing in those spaces that we could actually control those weeds to an extent without the use of chemicals. So we've undergone several projects to try and manage our grazing in a more effective way, and we've just done it really simply. We've just used a single electric wire, and we've taken the farm from probably 20 something paddocks to over 100 paddocks that the farm can be split up into. Paddocks are not just grazed and grazed again as those plants are starting to recover from their root reserves. They're really allowed to grow properly and then be grazed. And we can get back on it when it's at its best for animal performance, as well as at its best for persistence of the pasture. Planting has helped where we place water points on the farm now. We have water pipes going through many of our paddocks, and instead of having a trough in a set position all the time, we now have a portable trough system where it can just be towed behind the motorbike or behind the ute. One of the great advantages of doing that has been that the pastures are grazed a lot more evenly. After a year or two, you wouldn't know there'd ever been a problem establishing that pasture. They've just thickened up and certainly persisting well over 10, 12 years, and they're still going strong, and they're better than they were when they started.
Northwest Local Land Services would like to acknowledge funding from the Australian Government for this project.